Happy Wednesday, y'all. I have been so excited about making this video. Now, many of you that follow me know that I did treat myself to a new KitchenAid mixer a couple of months ago because after 22 plus years, the other one had seen its better days after a couple of repairs. So I waited about 4 months and I found the perfect KitchenAid. Now this is a 5-quart. And I said in the video when I was showing off my treat to myself, I said if only I could eventually get another bowl. Because in the summertime or at the holidays, you know, when you mix something and then you've got to clean it out to move to maybe the icing or another recipe. You can have two. Here is my KitchenAid bowl that came with my mixer. But what's sitting over there is my second bowl. Yes, the Amazon affiliate contacted me about 2 weeks ago, had ran across my video and said they would love to work with me. So I looked at the product, I examined it very closely. And the first thing I noticed was the price point. But then just because it's affordable, then you gotta look at the quality. Guys, let me show you this before we get into a recipe that we're about to make. And I'm rushing because we have storms coming our way. But when this bowl come in, I was like, you're kidding me. So I'm gonna grab it and I'm gonna show you what I looked at when I looked at the whole website and really fine-tuned. And then when I received it, I really inspected it and I was blown away. Here is the universal mixing bowl. Now, let's start off with, I want you to see the size. 5-quart is what came with mine, 5-quart. But you see how the KitchenAids are narrow here? Not with this universal replacement. It's wide. I honestly think it's larger than a 5-quart, but it does say 5-quart. And I noticed that it has more weight, but not in a bad way. It seems heavier than the KitchenAid. But I also looked at how it's made, the rivets as they call it. If you look close, there is 2 to the top of the handle and 2 here. Now, I never had a problem with my old mixer of the handle coming apart. But if you look at some reviews, they say over time it wears because these are both hand wash or dishwasher safe. So after looking at the reviews on the KitchenAid, when I was trying to find the perfect replacement, they talked about these rivets here. And I thought, I never had a problem with mine. So then that's the first thing I looked at when this universal mixing bowl came in. It has 4. And I was like, and something else I noticed, it doesn't penetrate or bend the stainless steel. If you look inside this KitchenAid, let me see if I can show it. If the camera, you can actually feel where the rivets kind of go in and kind of push the stainless steel. You can actually see that. And if y'all have a KitchenAid, let me know in the comments if yours has that. Like I said, it never affected anything. But I was very surprised that this one didn't have it. And I was like, wow. And it's got the 4 rivets here. So then I was like, well, let's see if it fits. It fits perfectly. There's the oven. That's for our sweet treat we're about to make. So I washed it up. I set my paddle. I set my whisk and my dough hook to make sure that it would sit perfectly like the original bowl. I'm gonna move that out of the way. And it did. So now we're gonna have to put it to the test because I wanna see, I have not tried it, but I wanna see how it works on the stand while the stand is mixing. But guys, are you ready for this? And I'm gonna get my glasses on. This was very impressive. Here's my glasses. And I wrote it down just so, you know, we all would know. I took the time and I went to KitchenAid website. A KitchenAid mixing bowl, okay? Replacement or just get a new one, which this is the universal. $59.99. Then I went to Walmart to see what a mixing bowl would cost. $42. Webstaurant, $59.95. Amazon, they're calling it a replacement for the KitchenAid, $29.99. That was the cheapest one I could find. But I noticed that particular website on Amazon, it didn't have good reviews. People were sending in pictures. It came kind of bent up, or let's just use the word damaged because that's what it was. So then that was impressive to me because I get to keep this, you know, for myself. Now, I am not making a commission, let's just say that. So the young lady that I'm working with, she said, I'll even offer a discount code. Guys, this mixing bowl we're about to test is $24, I believe it's $24.99. And she's giving a discount, and I'll have all that information down in the description. So with the discount, we are looking at about 20 bucks. Well, in the one on Amazon, in comparison, that's $10 savings. If you jump up to KitchenAid, that's $40 savings. So I looked at all of that before I told her yes. And I said, this is what I was hoping to get myself down the road. And to know that she watched my video and said, I might be a perfect fit, I was like, well, let's just see. So what we're gonna make is cupcakes, only we're gonna turn them into cookies. Because I'm on a special diet, I'm gonna make these into cookies. That way I can treat myself. This is a healthier choice than your standard box. And this was the last one that I had. This was gifted to my husband, and I've been saving this vanilla one. But now we're gonna make vanilla cookies. Yes, out of cupcake mix. Like I said, it's just gonna be a dump and go. 3 room temperature eggs. And in this measuring cup, I have 1/3 of a cup of water, 1/3 of a cup of neutral oil. You don't want like a olive oil, you want a neutral oil. Avocado would work. 1/3 water, 1/3 cup oil. And it says 1 teaspoon vanilla. I put 2 teaspoons vanilla extract. And let's see how well it works. We're gonna lock it. I'm gonna start off on 1 and then I'll just move it to number 2. And I started off on 1 because I don't want that cake mix coming out everywhere. Guys, I'm telling you, this is deeper. Or either it's the illusion of the wideness, which I love because you can reach down in there. Okay, I'm gonna go to number 2 and we're just gonna mix it. Guess what? I won't be turning it into cookies. Because normally I use cake mixes, I make cookies. This is a little bit thinner, and it may be the brand, so it's gotta be a muffin. That's fine, I'll just eat a half a muffin. Y'all believe that? I want you to look at this. I noticed it did clean the bottom of your mixing bowl. And that little cake mix actually made 12 cupcakes, only this one is a little shy. It cleaned up very nicely. And I've packed my utensils to it in the bowl. That's how I store them. And I'm gonna set this into my open pantry as my backup when I'm needing 2 bowls. But this one here, this new universal bowl, will be the one that's gonna be housed. That's how much I love the shape of it. And it doesn't have, y'all look, it kinda smooth and goes down. I just noticed that where this has that tight you know, it comes down and it's tight. Nothing wrong with it. But for the daily use, and I just need one mixing bowl, I'm gonna choose my new one. I am so tickled. We're gonna work on the glaze. And I like to mix it right here in the bag. It's not gonna take much. I added a little bit more. Let's go a full cup of powdered sugar. I'm gonna measure out my water. Let's start with 2 tablespoons. See where we're at. And I decided on banana extract. A teaspoon. And what I like to do is mix it up in the bag. And you can tell by the consistency when you just start mixing it up. But now, you know, if you add a little bit too much water, you can always add the powdered sugar. Let's do one more. So right now we're at a cup of powdered sugar, 3 tablespoons of water, and a teaspoon of extract. All right, I'm happy with that, see? And I don't have any mess. No extra bowl to clean up. Okay, let's get the tip pinched off, and I don't want much because I don't want it just running out. There we go, just enough. Oh yeah, y'all can see. Now we gotta hurry. I'm hearing the raindrops coming through my vent hood. Okay. There's no other way to do this, but just go for it. Yes, banana. Guys, who would have ever thought that something healthy, like these cupcakes, would taste so decadent? It is moist, it's delicious, and I made the right call. Putting that banana extract, and you can get that back hint of vanilla. And I love banana. You know, we could have added walnuts, we could have added raisins. Absolutely 2 thumbs up. So I'm gonna get me a fresh cup of coffee. But as always, stay safe, stay well, and God bless. And if you're in the market for an extra mixing bowl, look in the description. I am feeling so happy to have 2 now. Because guys, y'all know what I'm talking about. So look into the description, see if it fits your model. It says universal, because you can't beat the price. Until the next one. Make you some muffins too, in your new bowl.